Okay, in this video I'm going to solve question 4 from Eastern Cape 2019. The question is on Hyperbola grade 12. Okay, so this is the question 4 from Eastern Cape 2019. You can see you have 4 questions to solve, okay, and the total is 13 marks. Okay, let's get started on the next slide. Okay, let's start with question 4 from Eastern Cape 2019. So this is the question 4 from Eastern Cape 2019. Okay, question 4. Given f of x is equal to this. 4.1, write down the equations of the asymptote of f. The question is 2 marks. Okay, 4.1, you are given f of x is equal to this plus 1. Okay, so you have this plus 1. Okay, you can write it like this or like this. Still the same. I didn't change anything. Now 4.1, write down the equations of the asymptote of f. The question is 2 marks. Okay, remember a hyperbola has got 2 asymptotes, a vertical asymptote and a horizontal asymptote. Okay, to get the vertical asymptote, you always take this, what is in the denominator. You take it, so you can see you have x plus 3. You take it, you equate it to 0, and you solve for x. Okay, what is x equal to? X is equal to, when you take plus 3 to the right, now it becomes negative 3. Okay, so you have a vertical asymptote at x is equal to negative 3. So this is the equation of the vertical asymptote. Okay, now to get a horizontal asymptote, you take the value you have there. So the equation of the horizontal asymptote will be y is equal to the value you have there, 1. Okay, so this is the equation of the horizontal asymptote of the hyperbola. Okay, now 4.2, calculate the x and y intercept of f. The question is 3 marks. Okay, remember to get the x intercept, you let y equal to 0. Okay, this is the equation, and f of x is y. So you let y equal to 0 to get the x-intercept. Okay, so this is equal to 0, and then you have equal to what you have there. Okay, so you let y, this is y, you let it equal to 0 to get the x-intercept. Okay, this is what I have done here. Okay, you carry on, you take plus 1 to the left, it becomes negative 1 is equal to this. Okay, and you carry on, remember this is over 1. Okay, now from here what you can do is to do cross multiplication. You have negative 1 times this is equal to 1 times this. Okay, negative 1 times x plus 3 is equal to 1 times 2. Okay, you do cross multiplication. So you have negative 1 times x, which is negative x. Negative 1 times 3, which is negative 3, is equal to 1 times 2 is 2. Okay, you have negative x is equal to 2 plus 3. When the negative 3 goes to the right, it's 2 plus 3, which is 5. So now you have negative x is equal to 5. What is x equal to? X is equal to negative 5 when you multiply by negative 1 throughout to get the value of x. Okay, so this is the x-intercept. Now to get the y-intercept, you let x equal to 0. Okay, to get the y-intercept, you let x equal to 0. Okay, so this is the equation to use. You let x, this is your x, you let x equal to 0 to get the y-intercept. Okay, f of x is y, remember that. So you have y is equal to, you have 2 over x plus 3. You let x equal to 0, so you have 0 plus 3 and then plus 1. Okay, so this is what you do to get the y-intercept. You let x equal to 0. This is your x, which is substituted with 0. Okay, you carry on, y is equal to, let me do this. This is 2 over 3 plus 1. Okay, this is going to be 5 over 3, right? 5 over 3, and this is equal to, in decimal, you can use your calculator. What is this equal to? In decimal, 5 over 3, 5 over 3, it's 1 point something, okay? 1.7. We can keep it to one decimal place, 1.7, okay? So this is equal to 1.7 to one decimal place, okay? So you have the y-intercept as a fraction, or the y-intercept in decimal, okay? So this is the y-intercept, okay? So we have solved for question 4.2. The question was asking for the x and y-intercept of f. This is the x-intercept and this is the y-intercept. Now question 4.3, draw a neat sketch of f. Clearly indicate all intercepts with the x's and any asymptote. Okay, let me draw a line here, right? And then 4.3, we need to sketch the graph of f. Okay, so we are going to need the x and y intercept, and we are going to need to show us the asymptote. Okay, I can close this for now. So this is the Cartesian plane. You have the x-axis and this is the y-axis. Okay, we have the vertical asymptote at x is equal to -3, right? The vertical asymptote at x is equal to -3. There's -3, right? -3 is there. You have the vertical asymptote at x is equal to -3. So the equation of this vertical asymptote is x is equal to -3, right? You have it there. And you have the horizontal asymptote at y is equal to 1. There's y, the y-axis, you have 1 there. So the equation is y is equal to 1. Okay, so you have it there, the horizontal asymptote. The equation of this horizontal asymptote is y is equal to 1. Okay, you have the equation there. And you have the x-intercept at x is equal to -5. Okay, x is equal to -5 is the x-intercept. There's -5 there on the x-axis. So you have the x-intercept at -5 there. And you have the y-intercept at 1.7. Okay, the y-intercept. There's the y-axis. 1.7 is somewhere there. Okay, so this is the y-intercept. Okay, now you have your horizontal and vertical asymptote. You have the x-intercept and the y-intercept. Now you can draw the graph. You can see the graph is going to be like this. Okay, in this quadrant, cutting the x-axis at -5, and the other part is there, cutting the y-axis at 1.7, right? So this point is 1.7, right? The y-intercept 1.7. Now you can draw the graph. It's going to be like this. Okay, you can see. So this is the graph of f. Okay, and we are done with question 4.3. Now let's do the next question 4.4 on the next slide. Okay, now 4.4. Let me get the question again. This is the question. Now it's 4.4. 4.4, given that h is a reflection of f in the x-axis, determine the equation of the axis of symmetry of h having a positive gradient. Okay, you have to get h first by reflecting f in the x-axis. Okay, so f of x is equal to this, right? Remember from the question, you are given it. F of x is equal to this. Okay, f of x is equal to this. Now, h is obtained by reflecting f in the x-axis. Okay, let's get h first. Okay, h of x is equal to, you have to reflect f in the x-axis. Okay, to reflect f in the x-axis, you have to multiply it by -1. Okay, so you multiply f of x by -1, and this is equal to h of x. This is equal to, there is f, the equation of f. You have it, right? I have it in square bracket. So remember, you multiply by -1 to get h, okay? By -1 there, okay? This is what I have done. Okay, so h of x is equal to, you have -2 when you multiply by -1 throughout. You have -2 over this, right? And then this becomes -1, okay? So now you have h of x. So to get h of x, you reflect f of x in the x-axis, right? So you do that by multiplying by -1. So when you multiply f by -1, you get h, and you end up with this equation, which is still the equation of a hyperbola. Okay, now the question is to get the equation of the axis of symmetry of h having a positive gradient. Okay, so remember, the axis of symmetry is a line. It's going to be in the form y is equal to mx plus c. Okay, and m, which is the gradient, is equal to 1, because the axis of symmetry, the gradient is either a positive one or a negative one. In this case, you are requested to get the equation of the axis of symmetry, the one with positive gradient. So the gradient is going to be 1, not -1, because you are requested to get the one with positive gradient. If you are requested to get the one with negative gradient, the gradient is going to be -1. If it is positive gradient, it is 1, okay? So now you have the value of m, which is the gradient. It is equal to 1, okay? You carry on, y is equal to 1, this is 1, right? Times x, which is x, plus c. Now you need the value of c, okay? You are going to use a point on the axis of symmetry. So to get the point on the axis of symmetry, you can use the equation of h, okay? You have h of x is equal to this. You can use this equation to get the point which is on the axis of symmetry, okay? The point is, you have the x coordinate is -3, right? When you solve for x, you have -3, and the y coordinate is this -1, okay? So this is how you get the point. You solve for x, you have -3, and the y coordinate is -1, whatever you have there, okay? So this point lies on the axis of symmetry of h, okay? So this is how you get the coordinate of that point. That point lies on the axis of symmetry of h. Now you can use this point to get the value of c, okay? This is the x coordinate and this is the y coordinate, okay? Let's use it to get the value of c. So y is equal to -1. This is equal to x is -3, plus c, right? And what is c equal to? When you take -3 to the left, now you have 3 minus 1. C is equal to 2, right? 3 minus 1 is 2. Okay, C is equal to 2. And finally, the equation of the axis of symmetry is y is equal to x plus 2. Okay, so this is the equation of the axis of symmetry, the one with positive gradient. Okay, and we are done with question 4 from Eastern Cape Province 2019. Until next time, I will talk to you soon.